Hello everyone, I have a mixed media art journal process to share with you today with the Thompson's Craft Supplies design team. This is my last official project using the gorgeous Frosty Winter November kit, which I don't know is still available, but I will link it down below if it is. So yes, doing very much a Frosty Winter themed art journal spread for this one. Oh, before I start, by the way, it is windy AF outside today, so if you can hear the wind in the background during my voiceover, then I do apologise, but there's not really anything I can do about that. Controlling the wind, unfortunately, not within my power. Anywho, I started this spread, as I always do, by gessoing the pages and putting masking tape in the middle of the pages, so, you know, no inks or anything seep through to other pages. And I did that off camera because you don't need to see me do that all the time. And then I've taken this really, really pretty Tim Holtz stencil, just like a damask-y one, and just gone over that with modelling paste just to add some texture to the background. What I wanted to do with this spread was not use snowflakes. This was my challenge, like to make it snowy and wintry, but not use the snowflake stencil or stamps. I do use some snowflakes later on, but it's different. So yes, using that really pretty damask one, and then once that modelling paste was dry, I'm going over it with some various acrylic paints, all ones I've already used this month in working with this kit. There's the Crafts Artiste Frosted Mint and the Deco Arts Frosted Peacock Pearl or Perla, I don't know, they'll all be in the description box. I also brought in the silver paint from the kit, and I'm just sort of splodging the paint, as you can see, around on my page, letting it sort of naturally mix itself, mostly because I'm just too lazy to mix different colours, and I kind of like the effect that you get when you just do it straight on the page like that. And then my sister FaceTimed me, but I didn't want to mess up my painting, so I am multitasking here and speaking to my sister and painting at the same time, so please be suitably impressed. And look, Reb, if you're watching, this is what I was doing the other day when you FaceTimed me. So yes, I also added a little bit of the Deco Arts White Pearl metallic, just to add like a slightly lighter frosty effect while still talking to my sister on FaceTime. Again, all of the multitasking going on here. So yes, I toned down the silver a little bit because I was going to add more silver later, and I knew that, so I wanted the background to be more blue than silver kind of thing. So once that was dry, went off and spoke to my sister for a while, which was actually quite good timing because it gave the acrylic paint a good decent amount to dry, so thanks for that Reb, very handy timing there. And then I am taking some Nouveau embellishment mousse in powder blue, I think, and another Tim Holtz stencil, and just stenciling on the embellishment mousse and adding these really, really pretty florals. Now, because I'm not stenciling on a completely flat surface, the stenciling doesn't go perfectly, like it's a bit smooshy in places, but you can still tell that it's supposed to be flowers. And I'm really not fussed on art journaling. I just like making a mess when I do my art journaling. I'm not looking for perfection. Not even close. So yes, embellishment mousse is great, by the way, guys. I love it so much. I know I've said this before, but it really is. And there's so many things you can do with it. Like, you can use it as a watercolor, mix it with water. You can use it as like a wax kind of thing to colour wooden things, and you can mix it up with water in a bottle and use it as a spray mist. But honestly, using it like this, just as a paste for stenciling, is my favourite thing to do with it, because when it's dry, it's just the most lovely, shiny. And I'm not sponsored at all. I wish I was by Nouveau and Tonic, but I just genuinely love them. Anyway, now I've finished banging on about that, I'm going to add some stamping to my spread with some Kaiser Craft stamps. There is the Blossom one and the Music one. Now, in hindsight, I should have done stamping before I did the flower stenciling. I'm going to blame my sister for that, for distracting me. I know better than to do stenciling before stamping, but never mind. I used a mix of Stays On in Stone Grey, and I'm also using these little metallic inks as well. I used those for the Blossom stamp. I didn't do too much of that because obviously the metallic inks, they're not like Stays On, they're not like a solvent ink, so if I put any more mediums on top of them, they're just going to melt and disappear. So I've only done a little bit here and there, just for some extra little details and stuff, you know. I didn't want to go overboard with it, but I didn't want that completely blue, flat blue surface kind of thing. I mean, it's not flat, there's a lot of colours going on, but you know, I just wanted to bring in something extra to add more depth to the layout. Now, I am layout spread. I always make this mistake when doing art journaling. Anyway, this sticker here is from the Craft sticker sheet from the kit. One of the most enormous stickers ever, at least one of the biggest I've ever had. That's what she said. I'm so sorry, I'm so immature. And I've just cut that sticker in half, and I'm having it sort of going from the top on one side and from the bottom on the other side, sticking that on with gloss gel medium. I did think about having the whole thing going across the middle, but then I would have had to cut it in the middle, and then, like, because obviously you can't have it stuck over the whole thing, because then it's going to be difficult to fold the book kind of thing, and it's more likely to come off, and it just wasn't right going across the middle, the whole thing. So that's why I cut it and did it like that, and I prefer that, actually, I think. Now, I wanted to add Baby It's Cold Outside from that same sticker sheet. Trying really hard not to sing right now. No, I won't sing. Wanted to add that kind of as my title, and I wanted to add something behind it. So I took a couple of the strips from the sticker sheet, but that wasn't enough. So I remembered this stuff here, which is like, I know there's a word for it, but I cannot think of what that word is. It's like something, it's like a materially, tissue papery. It's so hard to describe. It was sent to me recently in the most amazing Happy Mail I received from a lovely person in the United States, and yeah, it's so lovely, and I thought it would go really nicely on this art journal spread because it's kind of got that frosty, wintry feel, and it adds this lovely lightness. So I've just ripped up bits of that and just adding it in various places over my spread, and I've put my little sort of Baby It's Cold Outside kind of title. There are more words going to go down on this spread, but that's what I chose for the title just because it's easy. And then I found this random scrap of tulle on my desk that I'd used in a previous project, and it's like got silver sparkles on, so I was like, that'll go nicely on there, so I'll just whap that on as well. And then I'm taking the silver acrylic paint, and just sort of dabbing it on around the snowflakes, the big sticker I put down, and around those little phrases and stuff, just to add more silver onto it. As I was saying earlier about how I didn't want too much silver on the background, it was because I knew I was going to do this towards the end and add that silver as a darker element, and it adds lots and lots of more depth to the whole thing. Now I am adding some beautiful Tim Holtz clippings stickers, the Christmas ones, and basically using a lot of things that I really, really love in this art journal spread. But yeah, a couple of those clipping stickers, not loads, and ones that are wintry rather than Christmassy phrases. I needed something else on the spread, couldn't tell you why, just needed. So this little ephemera piece, again from the kit, the Craft bits and pieces, that little cluster of trees going on there, and then again dabbing more silver paint over places, like lighter in places. And anyway, at this point I was not happy. I needed something else on this spread, and I thought, let's put a quote on there. Now, I tried to write it on there, but white pen, either gel pen or paint pen, wouldn't work on that background that I'd made. Black pen wouldn't look right, so I decided to just type it out on my computer, print it off, used a typewriter font, one of my favourite typewriter fonts, which is what's it called? It's called, like, it's something Czech, like Urania Czech? Probably wrong. Anyway, typed out that quote, printed it off in a navy blue colour because black wouldn't have been right for this, and I've just chopped it up, and I'm also going to back each little separate bit that I've cut up on this little scrap of paper, just to sort of add a little more interest to it. And it doesn't look right just like that as it is now on the spread, if you know what I mean. So backing it just helped a little bit, and I'm also going to distress around each of those little backing pieces once I've chopped them all up. So the quote is, to appreciate the beauty of a snowflake, you have to it is necessary to stand out in the cold. And I just found it on the internet and I thought it would work. The internet says it's by Aristotle, but I have this thing where I don't necessarily trust who the internet has, attributed a quote to, because it'll be like, I really like my iPhone, said Marilyn Monroe. Do you know what I mean? So I never fully trust quotes on the internet about who they're by, but it's still a nice quote, and so I'm using it. I'm adding some splatters here with Distress Spray Stain in Picket Fence for some nice snowy, splattery effects here. And then I thought that was going to be my last thing, but then looking at it, I was like, no, what we absolutely need is some more sparkle, because there's a little bit of sparkle on that tool, but not nearly enough. So I'm just taking some Simply Creative gems. These are Christmas gems, I think, from last year, but you can get these gems always, all year, and just adding a mix of those all over the spread, some in places where there's already a bit of gloss gel sticking out, so I didn't have to bother with any more adhesive, and some just, yeah, in other places. I was trying to make it look as quote unquote natural as possible and not add too many, and yeah, I was happy with the amount I added. It's like just the right amount of little sparkle I wanted on this very, very wintry art journal spread. And with that, I believe my spread is finished. So thank you so much for watching. As always, I will link the kit if it's still available and all the other items used down in the description box, as I always do. Please leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Chat to me in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions or anything like that. And yeah, that's about it from me. I'm now going. Thank you so much again.